Imagine one person, just one, whose ambition, maybe genius, could completely reshape a continent. I mean, leaving a mark on everything, laws, art, how we even think about democracy.
The huge question, isn't it? How do historians even begin to capture someone that monumental? And the times they lived in make it all feel, wow, real for us now.
Exactly. Welcome to this deep dive. And just so you know, you are experiencing a unique two-host AI conversation powered by Google's NotebookLM, which lets us get into some deeper, more dynamic book analysis. Today, we're diving into the Age of Napoleon. This is by Will and Ariel Durant, that famous husband and wife team.
Well, the Durants, yeah.
And it's not just any book. It's the final one, volume 11 of their huge work, The Story of Civilization.
Right. A massive undertaking.
It covers European civilization, basically from 1789 to 1815. So you're getting the French Revolution, the whole Napoleonic era, everything.
And our mission here really is to unpack how the Durants did it,
Yeah.
how they took this incredibly complex, messy period and synthesized it, made it coherent, engaging, but still, intellectually demanding.
Yeah, and accessible too. How do they make it work for pretty much everyone?
That's the key question. It's kind of a masterclass in historical storytelling, really.
So let's start with the Durants themselves, their credibility. They spent, over 50 years writing the story of civilization?
50 years, yeah. Just imagine dedicating that much of your life to one project. It's awe-inspiring.
Truly. And the Age of Napoleon, this huge final volume, apparently wasn't even in their original plan after they finished Rousseau and Revolution.
Right. They could have stopped, but they pushed on. And that dedication, it shows. They won the Pulitzer in '68, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in '77.
Those aren't small things. That speaks volumes about their standing, their ethos.
Absolutely. That's the foundation. Their decades of work, the recognition. It establishes this incredible credibility from page one. You trust their voice.
And Will Durant's writing style helps there too, doesn't it? It's described as classical, elegant. Very clear.
Very clear. It gives them this authoritative, scholarly tone, but it's not dry. It's readable. And then there's the research.
Oh, the research must have been immense.
Huge. You see it in the bibliography, the way they weave in sources. It adds serious scholarly weight. But it's not just academic authority.
What else?
Well, they were known as champions of human rights, social reform, that adds a kind of moral dimension to their history, subtly.
Okay. So it's this whole package, the long work, the awards, the clear style, the deep research, even their own value.
Exactly. And that's why it works for such a wide audience. They make these massive, complex events feel digestible, whether you're a history buff or just curious.
That accessibility is so important because, like you said, it's not just a list of dates and facts. The goal seems to be making history feel alive.
Making it breathe.
The tone is generally scholarly, sure, but when they get into Napoleon's campaigns, his life story, it really becomes, thrilling. Vivacious, even. How do they manage that shift?
That's where their mastery of pathos, of emotion, comes in. They don't just paint Napoleon as this distant historical giant.
They make him human.
Yeah, exactly. They show his vulnerabilities, his insecurities, the person behind the legend. It lets you connect on a human level, which is powerful.
Right, even if you don't agree with his actions.
Precisely. It's about understanding, not necessarily condoning. And their prose, it's just so vivid, evocative.
You feel like you're there.
You really do. Whether it's the chaos of the Bastille falling or the sheer cold and scale of a battlefield in Russia.
Yeah.
You're immersed. You're following this incredible story arc.
From Corsican student to emperor.
Right. His meteoric rise, the huge victories, and then the tragic fall. Russia, Waterloo, an emotional roller coaster, not just a history lesson.
And it's important to stress, though, Napoleon's at the center, but it's not just his biography, is it?
No, not at all. That's what makes it so rich, so intellectually stimulating. They cover this vast range.
Politics, war, obviously, but also art, literature, philosophy, science.
The whole sweep of civilization during that time. You learned about the leaders of the French Revolution, the birth of Romanticism, this dawning of a new democratic age, alongside Napoleon's story.
And they give specific examples, right, like the Napoleonic Code.
Yes, which wasn't just a legal tweak. It was a fundamental overhaul, standardizing laws, promoting equality. Its influence spread far beyond France.
Or things like the Continental Blockade against Britain. Huge economic strategy.
Exactly. It's incredibly comprehensive. And that comprehensiveness is where the logos, the logic of the book really stands out.
How so?
Well, it's the way they present all these facts. It's detailed, meticulous, But they don't just dump information on you. They achieve what they call a great synthesis.
Meaning they organize it all.
They organize this immense amount of information into a narrative that makes sense. And their structure is quite clever.
It's not just chronological?
Not strictly. They'll pause the main Napoleon storyline strategically.
To do what?
To dive into what was happening culturally, intellectually, socially in other places, England, Germany, Russia.
So you get the bigger picture, the context.
Precisely. It stops it from being just the Napoleon show.
Right.
It gives you a much fuller, more logical understanding of the entire era. You see how things connect, how Napoleon influenced, say, German philosophy, or how British naval power shaped his options.
That makes it much more than a biography. It's a history of an age.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Intellectually stimulating because it connects the dots across Europe.
Okay, as we're digging into all these layers, just a reminder for everyone listening, you can deepen your own understanding with Mindful Moments. That's on our YouTube channel, offering AI book analysis designed to inspire reflection and rational thought.
Good point.
So, back to Napoleon himself. The Durants paint him as, well, really complex, multifaceted.
Definitely not simple.
You see the military genius, you see the reformer, the code administration, but you also see the ambitious autocrat, the guy who didn't like opposition.
Both sides?
And it feels like they admire his abilities quite openly in places. They present him almost as this epitome of human potential in a way.
There is a clear admiration for his sheer capability, his energy, his intellect. You can feel it.
So how do they balance that admiration? Does it become biased?
That's the critical question. And I think they navigate it really well. While the admiration is there, they don't make it a hagiography, an uncritical worship.
They don't shy away from the bad stuff.
Not at all. They are very clear about his flaws, his unchecked ambition, the terrible human cost of his wars, the destruction.
So you get the brilliance and the brutality.
Yes. They present the devastating consequences right alongside the achievements. And that forces you, the reader, to grapple with the complexity. It's not spoon-fed.
Which makes it more demanding intellectually.
Exactly. It prompts critical thought about him, about power, about history itself. It's that complex, nuanced portrait that actually drives the narrative and keeps you hooked, not a simplified hero or villain.
You see the man and the impact.
For better and for worse, yeah. How his vision reshaped things.
So wrapping it up, it really sounds like the Durants achieved their goal. They brought the Age of Napoleon vividly to life.
I think so, yes. Through that blend of meticulous detail and genuinely compelling storytelling.
It's not just informative, it actually transports you.
It does. And a huge part of that is their skill in synthesis and generalization.
What do you mean by generalization exactly?
They can take all this vast detail, the battles, the treaties, the names, and distill it. They offer these really insightful generalizations, focusing on the bigger trends, the major themes that define the era.
So they don't get lost in the weeds.
Right. They avoid getting bogged down in minutia that might lose a general reader. For example, they don't just list Napoleon's conquests. They explain how those wars, maybe unintentionally, spread revolutionary ideas.
Ideas like nationalism, liberalism.
Exactly. Even as he was building an empire, the seeds of its opposition were being sown, partly by his own actions. That kind of analysis, connecting specific events to broader historical forces, is key.
And that makes it accessible.
Yes, and understandable. It helps you see the forest, not just the trees. It makes it a fantastic introduction to the period, but also something much more. A really powerful educational read that sticks with you.
Yeah, it definitely shapes how you think about modern Europe, its origins.
Absolutely. The echoes are still there.
It's just incredible, really, how historians like the Durants can weave together so much information, shed light on the past in ways that genuinely resonate today.
And understanding their method, how they build that narrative, it's valuable in itself. It teaches you about critical thinking, about synthesizing information.
Definitely.
So when you think about a figure like Napoleon, this colossal force, and then the painstaking work of historians like the Durants bringing that era back, what questions does that spark for you about how we tell the stories of our own past today? How do we sort through the noise?
That's a great question to ponder. How do we construct and interpret history now?
Something to think about.
And for an even more in-depth exploration, definitely check out Mindful Moments and our podcasts for more AI-powered book analysis. If this discussion on the Age of Napoleon got you interested and you want to go deeper, click the link on screen for the in-depth book summary.
Yeah, do check it out.
And remember to subscribe, maybe share this deep dive with other learners. If you're inspired to actually read this amazing book yourself, you can purchase it using the link provided.
It's well worth the read.
Absolutely. And most importantly, always think critically.